Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Nicholas County Board of Education regular meeting, Monday, February 24th, 2025. Please stand at this time for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we're going to recess this meeting to conduct a public hearing on the 25-26 school calendar. This is public hearing number 2 for the 25-26 calendar.
Oh, yeah, just hit, Mr. Green can't see the research.
Okay, this is, I'm all the way up to that 2 calendar hearings. This is our second calendar hearing tonight. It is actually on the board agenda to approve this calendar. I'm not going to go through the whole process like I did the first time, but I am going to go through the calendar each month and show you exactly how these days will work. School, one of the things, really the only 2 things that we was requested to change when we sent this out on our survey was not to start school on a Monday, and also to have an extra day after Good Friday, which we did accommodate both of those suggestions. So the way the calendar will look is the teachers will report to work on August the 13th, which is a Wednesday. They will start that day off at their schools with a planning day and their faculty senate meeting, which is required by law. Then we'll follow that up with 3 consecutive days of staff development. Some of those may be county-based, some may be school-based, but those will take place then on Thursday and Friday and the following Monday. Then on Tuesday is the first PL day. The legislature gives us 5 professional learning days that we're allowed to count as instructional days for students. So that's actually the first day that we start counting days being in school, even though the students are not present. First day the students will be present will be on Wednesday, August the 20th, which is probably right in the middle of State Fair week, but that's where it starts, which it is a little bit later than we've started in the past, but we did move that 3 days. The rest of that first school month, the only thing we have there is Labor Day in September. The second month is a great month because there's just 20 straight days of school. It doesn't happen very often, but that's the way that the calendar always works, is the second month. The third month, the only day we have there is a Faculty Senate Professional Learning Day. As I explained in our last board meeting, Faculty Senate meetings are required certain months, and October is one of those months, and so we scheduled that one for a Wednesday, October the 15th. The following month, we don't have an election day in the fall, but we do have Veterans Day on the 11th, 11/11. That's a Tuesday. I wish that they would just give us the option to use a Friday or a Monday and make it a long weekend for people. They do not give us that option, or else we would. 11/11 is Veterans Day, and that day, of course, is no school. Then we go into Thanksgiving break, which starts on the 24th of November. Thanksgiving is late again this year, as it was this past year, and we do not try to have school that week. It's ludicrous to even to try, but that's where that week is. Then our first semester will end on December the 22nd with a Faculty Senate Day, Professional Learning Day. The employees get a chance to work that day off and have their Faculty Senate meeting prior to that day, after school or before school if they choose. I think all of them do that. So the kids' last day is the 19th, the employees' last day is the 19th of December, and then they're off until the students come back on January the 5th, and the teachers come back on the Friday before. Now, we did catch a little bit of grief about Friday, but that gives the teachers, and they do like coming back a day before the students do, and it gives the kids 2 full weeks off, which is always good for them, and the teachers get 1 day to get prepared for the kids to come back. So that takes us through the first semester. The first semester will end on the 22nd of December. Then the second semester starts on January the 5th. We have Martin Luther King Day off on the 19th. Again, as I explained, that's not an optional holiday. We have to observe that holiday. And not to say that's a bad thing. It's just a lot of people say, why don't you do President's Day? Well, it's not giving. We don't have the option of using President's Day. So we try to do the next best thing and try to schedule a professional learning day or something along those lines. If you see in February 16th, that's kind of where we celebrate President's Day. It's a professional learning day. The teachers do work that day. They don't work that day off, but they also have their faculty center that day. The students are not in school that day. So you can see those first 2 months of the year, January and February, pretty much straight shots. Of course, if you have bad weather, which rumor is we had a little bit of bad weather this year and missed a lot of school. But that's where our calendar looks. The next school month, the 8th school month, starts the Professional Learning Day in March, on March the 11th, a day that students do not attend. We do give credit for kids being in school that day. And then we have on April the 3rd, we have our mini break. We take off for Good Friday, and that is Professional Learning Day and a Faculty Senate Day. Again, like the one in December, the employees get the option of working that off. And that's not just teachers, that's all employees get a chance to work that day off in advance, but documenting 6 hours of work that they've done outside their regular job responsibilities. But that's where we added that next OS day. We put an OS day on the 6th. I think that's the 6th, and that's very good. I think that's April the 6th. So we have a Friday and a Monday off, long weekend. Then we have school the rest of that week for 4 days, and then we have our regular spring break, then April 13th through the 17th. And we did move that a week from Easter because we hope we get a little bit warmer weather a week closer into the middle of April rather than back here in early April. Then we have Election Day, which is a primary election day on May the 12th, as you can see at the end of the 9th month. And then our last school month, we have Memorial Day and our OS days. Now, our OS days, and this is important for something I'm going to talk about a bit later, is our makeup days. By law, you have to use your OS days first when you are making it snow days. Now, is it possible that we're going to take the 6th day of April? It's possible. If we have a winter next winter like we had this winter, we may have to take that day, but hopefully we don't have to. But we put 5 of them at the end. I originally had 6 OS days at the end, but when people requested for me to extend spring break day, that's what I did. I put an OS day there. So then we have, at the end of the school year, we have a parent-teacher conference day that we give teachers credit for. They have 2 parent-teacher conferences of 3 hours each, or 3 parent-teacher conferences of 2 hours each. And the faculty senate meeting has to be in May or June, depending on where your school year ends, and then the planning day at the end of the school year. Graduations, you can't see it on here, but we had to move graduation 1 day. So those will be on Thursday and Friday in May. I think it's like the 21st and 22nd, or the 20th and 21st, whatever those 2 days are, Thursday and Friday. We had to move that 1 day. When we added that OS day in April, that kicked our calendar out as being accepted, so we had to move graduation day closer to the end of school. So that's what our calendar looks like. It's very similar to what we've done in the past. The only change we made was we had the OS day for Easter break, and we moved Easter break a week later than what we usually would because of where Easter follows. But if anybody got any questions about the calendar, I'd be glad to answer any of them. One thing I know is calendar, school calendar. Too well, I think. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's reconvene the February 24th, 2025 regular meeting at this time. And so number 7, approval of the agenda.
Have one adjustment we need to make. Under personnel, the last item on personnel is an employee discipline hearing. We want to move that to the very end of the day to make it 18B. After we have our student discipline review hearing, we will have our employee discipline hearing. 18B. That's the only thing I think I have to say, right?
We've got a meeting this week, Wednesday. It's not actually on, it's not on here, right?
It is not. Yeah, we have one session.
Still Wednesday.
Right, I know the future meeting
10 o'clock.
dates.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, I know the future meeting date, so we have one this
Yeah,
week.
we need to add that one to the future meeting dates. Thank you, Sue. Work session on Wednesday, February 26th at 10 a.m.
Okay. At this time, we have student representatives Caitlin Clark and Caroline Hinkle from Nicholas County High School.
SCTV is in the
Hello. We're representatives from Nicholas County High School, and we're going to tell you a little bit about our events we have, well, since the last one we've been at. So, we have some literacy events coming up. Our first one is going to be at Mount Lookout on March 13th, and then we're planning on doing a second one later in March because we did miss it in February. So, if you don't know, a literacy event is where we go and share some books with elementary kids, and then try to just hang out with them and do some crafts with them.
And then coming up on April 4th, we have Women's and Girls Day, and we both went last year, and it's pretty good. It's fun. We get to just go to the Capitol, do a little tour, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, we hear usually some of the women that work in office come and speak, and we kind of just get to spend some time with some empowerment. So it's pretty great. And that's on April 4th. Juniors are getting ready for Honor Society. Grades are going to be pulled pretty soon, and then we'll get our applications together.
And then we got our spring sports starting, and that includes track, and that's on March 3rd. And softball is also on March 3rd, and the baseball flex practices.
Some of our accomplishments with this school, the Science Bowl team actually got to the quarterfinals and made a little tiebreaker there.
Math field day, 8 of our students placed in the top 10.
Yeah. And then volunteer program has been, well, we started a little volunteer program at school. It's called the Docent Program at Old Main, where students can take a little class at New River, and then they get to come volunteer at Old Main, and they can be tour guides and kind of help out when there's events and stuff there, and it's just a really great opportunity to get involved in our community. That is all we have for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did they introduce themselves? I was going to ask which one, which one's which.
Yeah, short.
Oh, okay.
Tall, Caroline. Short is Caitlin.
Okay, so I have it on.
The back, yeah, the basketball player is short.
Okay, Mr. Green, you still with us?
I'm still here.
All right. Number 9, approve minutes of the meetings held on February 3rd, the special meeting, February 3rd, the work session, February 3rd, the regular meeting, and February 20th. February 20th was the regular meeting, excuse me. Any corrections to any of those?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Moose makes a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ferguson. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion unanimous. Superintendent's information updates.
Okay, mostly we're going to talk about weather and the effects it's had on our calendar. First of all, due to the number of days we've missed at the beginning of this third 9 weeks, we are moving the end of the 9 weeks from March the 12th to March the 21st, so we have a few more days that we can put kids' grades in and get them a appropriate grade, hopefully. So that's the first thing. Second of all, is I get a lot of questions. Everywhere I go, I get questions saying, when's the last day of school now? And how are you going to make up all these days? And all these kind of things. So I'm just going to kind of go through that very quickly. It won't take me a bit of second. We right now have missed a total of 17 days. 16 weather-related and 1 when we had the threat at the schools in September that we have to make up. So we got 17 days. Okay, we have 10 days, 5 accrued, 5 snow packet days gives us 10, and we had 4 days of OS at the end of the calendar that we could use. There's 14 of the 17. So it means we're 3 days short. So people say, well, you're going to take spring break, or you're going to extend the year. Well, I really don't want to commit to either one of those things yet, because we're not to the end of the road yet on how many days we have. I really hate to take spring break days because a lot of families plan things spring break. But also know that if we go too far into June, that it affects things like after-school programs and people's vacations into June also. So we're not ready to definitively decide on which days we make up. I mean, the board will make that decision. I'll make a recommendation to them, but I am willing to say this. I personally would not want to take more than 2 of the days of spring break away out of the 5. Pocahontas County, near and dear to my heart, I was talking to the superintendent this weekend, and they've already taken all 5 of their days over there because they did not have OS days at the end. They put them somewhere else. So they have to take the spring break days. They actually made their spring break OS days, so they have to take them. So that's why we don't make ours OS days. The other thing is that Mrs. Weitzel and I sat down and we did submit a waiver to the state to get permission to come up with a plan to add minutes to our day if possible in order to not make up all these days at the end. That was not going to be accepted, and I knew it wasn't. But what he did is a lot of the superintendents did this, and now Jeff Kelly called me today. He's the assistant state superintendent of schools, and he was laughing. He said, I got your waiver, and he said, we can't do that. I said, I know. But what they are going to do is Superintendent Blatt is getting together a little committee of people at the State Department to try to come up with something that they would forward on to the superintendents for us to try to fill out and see if we can get a little bit of break from these days. He says, we're not promising anything, so don't promise your people that we're not going to make up these days. We're trying to work through the process and see if there's a way we can get a waiver on some of these days by adding a few more snowpacket days or whatever. I don't know what that'll look like yet. He said it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before I get it. So it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before I know what it looks like and before I can do anything else with it. That's another reason I don't want to just tell people right now we're adding days at the end. No, we're adding days, we're taking spring break. I don't want to say that until I find out if we have other options. And when we do find out if we have other options, then we can be more definitive in which days we make up. So that's kind of where we are with our snow days. This week looks like we're going to get this weekend. Next week, I don't know, polar vortex headed this way again with very, very cold weather. They're not talking about a lot of snow, but they are talking about sub-zero temperatures, which, we can usually have school on a delay with those. But to be honest with you, I get blown up more from delays than I do canceling school. And I understand it, and I get it, and I feel the frustration because people have to get childcare. And when we don't make a decision until 4:30 in the morning when we do a delay, then they're scrambling. I get it. But you don't want to make a call too early and make the wrong call. So it's one of those dang if you do and dang if you don't things, and I cleaned that up for you. Appreciate that, I'm sure. That's where we are with our calendar and our makeup days. And I will keep you informed. I don't keep things secret from you. I'll let you know as soon as I know something. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any delegations?
No, sir.
Thank you. Action items. A, discussion with possible action on the approval of the calendar for the 2025-26 school year. Is there anything on this list that you all want to vote on separately? Are we okay with voting everything together? A lot of it's policies. Okay. Any discussion on the approval of the calendar? If not, action item B, discussion with possible action on placing the updated policy programs of study for English learners out for public comment for 30 days. And that's just an updated policy.
That one goes out on comment.
Right.
If these other are actually approved.
If there's no discussion, action item C, discussion with possible action on the approval of the following policies. And these are all updated policies. Substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage, areas of critical need and shortage for substitute bus drivers, attendance, student code of conduct, substance abuse prevention, student discipline, exclusion from classroom or school bus, suspension and expulsion of students, non-discrimination on the basis of sex in education programs or activities, non-discrimination on the basis of sex in educational programs or activities, head lice, evaluation of school leaders, weapons, required courses of instruction, rescind, cardiopulmonary resuscitation instruction, required courses of instruction, drug prevention and violence reduction education program, employment of personnel for extracurricular activities, and use of anabolic steroids. Yeah.
We all had these for review previously.
Yes, they were all.
These are out on comment now.
Yeah.
I don't guess we got any comments.
Any comments? Okay. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, do I have a motion to approve these action items A, B, C, 1 through 18?
I so move.
Mr. Moose makes a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Berry. Consent items,
All
finance.
those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know you are. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion unanimous. Mr. Green, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Finance, payment of current invoices.
Okay, everything that I have should be in your packet. So do you have any questions about invoices?
Anybody have a question? Clarification, anything? Mr. Moose, you need more time?
No, I've already looked at these.
Okay, all right. I'm
Thank
just
you.
making sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Okay, so next is January supplements and transfers, also in your packet.
I'm sorry, which one? What are we?
The supplements and transfers.
Oh, okay. Let me find it.
short.
And then the January treasurer's report. contracts. The first is Scholastic Book Fairs with Summersville Elementary. Second is the Veterans Memorial Park fiscal year 26 user agreement, which that has increased a little bit from last year. They, their letter said that they put a 5% increase.
Yeah, they did, but further down, they say that on item 8, in the next, board agrees to pay a flat user's fee as per the 2023 fee schedule.
Right, yeah, and you'll see there on the first page of that, I had to change some dates also. So, yeah, I'll mark through that.
So are we paying the 5% or are we getting the 2023?
I'd say that they're gonna want the 5%, and then 2023 is a typo.
Is the 6,339.38 with the 5%?
Yes.
It is
That's
with
with
the 5%.
5%. And also,
Well, then we paid it 2023? We paid 5%?
No.
2020?
no,
2023 is an error, but
Right.
the amount is right with a 5% increase. So they'll have to change the 23 to the 25.
Okay.
So is that, when's that take effect?
well, we don't have to pay this until the beginning of the next fiscal year. And I
Okay.
did want to ask you about it. You remember last year, we talked about the gravel situation there? And last year, they didn't want to commit to putting gravel. They just said that they didn't know if they were going to be able to afford it. And so I asked her, this year, if she had any word about whether they were planning on putting on gravel, and she hasn't, as of right now, she hasn't responded to me. But I know I've already had some people questioning if we're going to get gravel because we need gravel there right now. So I don't know if that's something, if you guys want to get a commitment from them that they are going to gravel that this year. I mean, we don't have to approve this today. If you want to get some more clarification about that before we approve it. I know one year we did end up having to do gravel because they couldn't afford gravel and they really, really needed it. But, I mean, we are paying for the use of
Paying
that
the user
is their-
agreement, they should take care of the gravel.
Well, or we could suggest gravel in lieu of the payment,
Yeah,
do it
yes,
that
I mean,
way,
you
if
guys
they
want
would
us to do
want
that.
to.
But, yeah, I don't know, I would like for them to say, yes, we're gonna gravel it. I'd kind of like for them to commit to that because I don't want to get in a position where they can't afford it and we have to do that again. I really think that's fair since we're paying.
But in the user's agreement itself, I haven't really read it clear through. It doesn't say who is responsible for that.
No,
correct?
but at the beginning, it does say, I think like the very first, the commission is charged with the operation and maintenance of the Nicholas County Veterans Memorial Park.
Okay.
So I feel like that is their
Yep.
responsibility to do the gravel. But like I said, I don't have, a firm commitment about that. So if you want to hold off until we talk to them maybe more about it, or go ahead, I mean, whatever your preference.
I mean, it's not that I don't, I mean, maybe we can split it or something, but, we're getting ready to look at budget cuts and
Right, I feel like it's clearly their responsibility, but they just, no, the girl that I have spoken to, she's not a member of the commission, so, maybe she just couldn't say for sure that she could cover that. But if we want to talk to them and make sure that that's in their plan to gravel that before we approve it, then that.
2 bullet points. Bullet number 3. Commission has established a fee structure to rent the park. Bullet number 4, the commission is desirous to provide Nicholas County High School and Summersville Middle School with access. Next bullet says that the only exempt dates for non-use by the County Board of Education and/or any of its 16 individual schools. So who has access to 16 schools or just Nicholas County High School and Summersville Middle?
Well, Nicholas County High School and Summersville Middle have had sports practices there, so that's probably why they're mentioned separately. I don't know, maybe at some point I'll have to look at last year's.
They had track
and
and
they
field
have
days
track
for all
and
the schools.
field there
Right.
for elementary, but we don't have 16 schools anymore.
I guess they probably can't
Right.
Yeah.
We can have that corrected. That makes like 3 things in here that are some typos. So, right, and I've already told her about the dates on the first page.
Okay.
So
we
let's,
we can have.
table this one until,
Okay. Yeah.
Table and bring it back at the next regular.
right, we'll have to make a decision next time.
Right. Okay, so then do you want me to email her again and ask her again about the gravel, or does somebody, do one of you guys want to reach out to somebody on the commission and ask? Whatever you want me to do, Evelyn.
We have talked about all that gravel we're gonna have left at Richwood High and Richwood Middle once those are moved out. And if we're still responsible for restoring it to its original, do we own the gravel or does someone else own the gravel? And if we own it, then is it at our discretion to use?
If we own them, it should be our discretion how we use it, I think.
Mr. Hanshaw, do you know who paid to put that gravel at Richwood at Beaver?
From my understanding, the pod company would own that gravel. It's not ours to give away, because it's their responsibility for creating that site. So in their contract, it's their responsibility to remove it back to normal, not ours as a Board of Education. It's who we're leasing this pod to.
So they may cut us a deal on it.
They may say, sure, whoever can have it, but that has to be negotiated with the pod rental company automatically, as long as that's in that contract. I think we need to verify that's in that contract, and then that would be their gravel to negotiate whatever they do.
Okay, so back to the gravel up there, I guess send another email, and,
Okay.
I mean, we're not committed to do that. You hate people parking in mud though, you know, and walking in mud. So,
Right.
we may have to get together with the county commission.
Okay. Okay, I'll send her another email and see if I get an answer by next week. Okay, next item is the election for our fiscal year 25 financial audit to be performed by an outside accounting firm. And we have to get permission to do that every year. We've used an outside accounting firm for as long as I can remember, so this is just a formality. We have to have it approved every year in order to, this past audit was our year 3 of our contract, so we'll have to put that out for bid again.
So did you see, there's a bill in the House or Senate one that wants the state auditor to audit every county. Did you see that?
I had heard that. That's a lot of work for them, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But we'll see.
Another smart move.
Have them do it.
Well, maybe they can just pay for having it done in every county.
Well, that's the problem. They don't attach physical responsibility with their bills. But anyway,
But the auditors
That's what
vary
it should
because
be.
we put it out for
That's
bid
right.
and then,
Right, we won't necessarily get the same auditor that we have had. But yeah, there are a few different firms. We'll send it out to all the firms that are on their approved list,
yeah.
and then they'll send in their proposal, and we'll go with the best. And we did, I heard back from our auditor, and he has our audit complete, but I didn't have time to get it done for this meeting, so we'll go over that next meeting.
Kristen, you still have the option of selecting someone who puts a bid in for our audit. You have to take the lowest bid, or you have to?
We don't have to take the lowest bid. Normally, I mean, that's a big consideration, but there are other options. There's a matrix, and you have to look at how much experience they have in this type of audit, and how many people are on their staff, and how long it will take, and make sure that they can get it done by the deadline.
If they provide you a list, do they not do all that? Do they not vet everybody that's on the list?
I'm not sure to what extent they do, but yeah, we have to put it out every 3 years and have a little committee to look at all the proposals. Okay, next, there are a couple of student transfer requests. And 2 out-of-state travel requests, one for Summersville Middle School, and one for Community Technical Center. I think you guys have all the information on that. Somersville Middle School is the National Honor Society going
We'll
to
do it first. Okay.
Washington DC and Philadelphia.
And Shepherdstown.
Is that trip a weekend or is it through the week?
It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we come back on Sunday.
Why 3 county buses?
We're gonna have approximately 70 students going, but that 70 students are also gonna have luggage for those 4 days. So that's just spaced out the way that we had 2 last year. We anticipate more students with them this year. Do you guys want the information?
No. No.
How many students, I'm sorry? 70.
Around 70.
Because I have an honor society, I have 60 to 65 kids, and only like 4 or 5 said that they're not going. So,
That's fine. I just wondered why 3 buses.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the luggage. And, I mean, you all are paying for that, so. The only thing is, hopefully we have, the drivers to take you. All right, and did you
And the
mention the
career
other
and
one?
technical trip to New Orleans, and that's being paid for out of your grant funds, right?
Just a second. Let me pull that up. This is a conference.
Yes.
Yeah. I got you.
Any questions?
Just 2 people attending, am I saying that right? Yeah.
No.
Tom and Alex, or,
Tom and 2 of his staff members, and Ms. Rapp, and Scott Williams, and another.
2 teachers and 2 administrators, 3 teachers.
I have them
individually listed on the agenda.
Right here,
All the
Mr.
names
Mayor.
are on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
oh,
Here.
okay.
It's in the middle, right above 14.
Okay. Ah, okay, my question's answered, thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept consent items finance 1 through 4, including the contracts A, B, C, and then the student transfer request 1 and 2 under B, the out-of-state travel request under C, 1 and 2. Do we have a motion for all that?
Make a motion.
I'm sorry, what?
We're tabling B under 4.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right. Table B. So is that okay with your motion? So-
Yes, okay.
My bad. So Mr. Berry made the motion, second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Ferguson. All in favor? Aye. Motion unanimous. Thank you. Personnel.
Good evening. I'd like to present the personnel as presented. However, I would like to say to our retirees, especially Kim, we appreciate all that you have done to keep us straight and on task. And we appreciate all your years of service, along with Kathy Maloney and Pamela Cox. And we will have additional retirees on the next agenda. They are eligible, service and professional are eligible for the $500 bonus as long as I receive it by March 3rd.
And they've all been reminded.
They have been reminded multiple times, and we'll send it out again this week, and they're rolling in. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on any of the personnel that's presented.
If there's no questions, do we have a motion to accept the personnel agenda as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Ferguson makes a motion, seconded by?
Second.
Second by Mr. Berry. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion unanimous. Thank you. Okay, reports. SESC, Mr. Ferguson?
I have nothing to report. They haven't had a meeting, have they? Yeah, 2 years, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Green?
Nothing to report right now.
Thank you. Items for future agendas, matters of the board. Does anybody have an item for future agenda? I have a matter of the board. Braden Atkins, the West Virginia Mountaineer, will be, hopefully, everything's a go. March the 3rd, he's going to visit the rest of the schools in the county. Ray, if you're wanting to cover any of that, you're more than welcome. But he'll be at Birch River at 8:30 in the morning. No, he'll be at Birch River at 7:45 in the morning. That was changed. And then he'll be at Summersville Elementary at 10 o'clock. And then at Nicholas County High School, he'll be there for the middle school at 1 and for Nicholas County High School at 2. So that's on March 3rd. Anything else? Okay, future meeting dates. And these times may change if student hearings are added. We have a special meeting on Monday, March the 3rd. Let me back up a second. We actually have a work session on Wednesday, February 26th at 10 o'clock. That's not listed on the agenda. Work session this Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And we have a special meeting on Monday, March 3rd, and that's for review student disciplinary hearings. That's next Monday. And then next Thursday, we have a special meeting. And the purpose of that meeting will be to conduct routine business and discussion with possible action on the bid for the Nicholas County sewage replacement project. Is that still on?
No, it is not.
Okay, we need to scratch that.
We'll have the meeting.
But we're still going to have a special meeting.
Yeah, we have to.
That bid opening will be addressed on the 17th.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Which one was that?
That's on B. It's back on your other page. The meeting's still on, it's just not for the
The
sewage.
2 meetings next week,
Right,
Monday and
Right.
Thursday, right? Wednesday, no.
Monday and Thursday. This week is Wednesday.
Yeah,
Next
okay.
week's Monday and Thursday. And then a regular meeting on Monday, March 17th, at 4 o'clock. And regular meeting on Monday, April 7th. And then there's a special meeting, Tuesday, we will reconvene the meeting from March 17th for the levy rates. And that will be at 8 o'clock in the morning. That should be a very short meeting.
That'll be the only agenda, right? Agenda.
And that will be a reconvene, so it's not an actual, anyway, and then regular meeting Monday, April 21st at 4 o'clock.
Now, the 3rd is at 4 o'clock, is that correct? And that's a business meeting, or,
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
yes, sir.
Okay.
The
That's-
3rd is for your expulsion reviews.
Okay,
Yeah, there's like 13 of them.
yeah, okay. And that's the day the Mountaineer's gonna be here. So we'll try to catch him in the morning, right? What?
I'll get back with you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then the 18th, or number 18, we have to conduct a student disciplinary hearing, so
Well, one question. When's the pre-bid set for the sewage project?
March 5th.
March 5th.
It's going to be the pre-bid at 10 o'clock.
At what time?
March 5th at 10 o'clock is going to be the mandatory pre-bid meeting. We had to advertise it again, is why it was a little bit delayed.
Okay.
Okay, so at this time, we will need to have a executive session to conduct a student disciplinary review hearing. And then following that, we'll come back in. We will come out of executive session, then we'll have to go back into executive session for an employee disciplinary hearing. And then adjournment after that, so.
What time was that
Do
pre-bid?
we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Mr. Ferguson makes a motion, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Berry. All in favor? Aye.
What was that?
At 4:52. Okay, so do we have a motion to come out of executive session?
I make the motion.
Mr. Berry makes a motion, seconded by?
Second.
Second by Mr. Green. All in favor? Aye. At 5:08.
Yeah.
Can't see my clock, sorry.
A little bit.
Did Ray leave? He did, okay. There were no decisions made during executive session. Okay, we need another executive session to conduct an employee disciplinary hearing. I have a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Green makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Ferguson. All in favor? Aye. At 5:09. We might make it there. Okay, do we have a motion to come out of executive session?
I make that motion.
Mr. Berry makes a motion, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Ferguson. All in favor? Aye. At 5:33.
I am asking the board to ratify the 5-day unpaid suspension of William Edley, bus driver for Nicholas County Schools.
Okay. Do we have a motion to,
I make that motion. That we do this, ratify it.
ratify the 5-day suspension of William Edley?
Yes.
Without pay?
I make the motion, we ratify the suspension of William Edley, 5 days without pay.
Need a second, please?
You have a second.
Mr.
Green?
Mr. Green seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion unanimous. Anything else?
We probably need to let Ray know, because he'll need that for the paper.
Okay. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mr. Ferguson makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Berry. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous at 5:34.